What's going on, everyone? This is Dom, and today we are getting into my full thoughts on the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra. That is a huge name, a very grand name that includes a crap ton of features. So we got some stuff to unpack here. I have spent a lot of time with this phone over the last couple of weeks, so much that I've done a lot of coverage, and you can check out those videos linked in the description. So we're not gonna go over every single aspect of things that I covered in the previous videos. You can watch those, but I'm gonna give you my general experience here, some of the things that I love about this phone, and some of the things that I am not so in love with. I will start out by saying this is the best Android phone that you can buy right now. Hands down, without question, and it packs a lot of things in here. Basically, you're getting everything that you could possibly want in a smartphone from a technology limitation standpoint right here for $1,400. Honestly, the design here, it's kind of boring, right? Like, we just have metal and glass. It falls in line with everything else that Samsung has done, and we have cosmic gray and cosmic black. Both kind of boring colors, I mentioned that previously, but whatever, the design is what it is. So around the front here, we do have a beautiful 6.9-inch Super AMOLED display, and it looks awesome. And we have choices of resolutions between Quad HD Plus at 60 Hertz, and we have Full HD Plus at 120 Hertz, and regardless of what resolution you're at, we have a 240 Hertz touch response layer, which this phone just feels stupid fast. I've personally been using it at the Full HD Plus resolution at 120 Hertz, and I will not change that at all. Like, to my eyes personally, Full HD Plus looks fine, and having that extra bump in the refresh rate on the screen definitely makes a difference. So let's start out by talking about some of the things that you shouldn't buy this smartphone for. First up, 5G. Don't buy this for 5G coverage. I previously did a video, my 72 hours with this phone, where I tested out 5G across T-Mobile and Verizon, and you know, T-Mobile, the 5G is just not good, at least in my area. Now, all of what I'm saying is dependent on your location, but the Verizon 5G ultra wideband stuff is bliss. Like, it is awesome, and it will kill the crap out of your data and your battery very, very quickly, but it's not widespread. I can only get it in probably a mile radius in downtown Phoenix, and it's not widespread. And so, like I said, that's dependent on your location, but I don't think you should buy this phone for 5G, because we're just not there yet as a society in terms of, like, you know, you paying for that marketing feature, because that is one of their heavily marketed features with this phone. Another reason you shouldn't run out and pick up this phone is for the marketed camera features, and I will touch on that very specifically in a little bit, but keep that in mind as we're moving forward. Let's talk about battery life real quick though. This thing is an absolute battery beast, like, for real. I can get 7 to 8 hours of screen on time. That's before I go to sleep. The phone isn't even dead yet. So if that says anything to you, you know, the battery life here is really good, even running the 120 Hertz panel. That's what I've been using the entire time, and I've had zero problems. I am disappointed, as I've mentioned, that we don't get that 45-watt super fast charger in the box. Yeah, I'm sure there's profit margin room for it, so you know, whatever. We have to deal with that. That is a thing that we don't have, but there are some other options. Now, speaking of fast charging, big shout out to this video sponsor, ElecJet, with their PowerPi 20,000 milliamp hour battery. And this thing actually supports 45-watt charging for the Galaxy S20 Ultra or the Note 10 Plus, which is pretty cool. It also works with a wide variety of laptops as well, including the Huawei MateBook, MacBook, we have the Microsoft Surface Pro, the Lenovo Yoga, the list goes on. On top of all that, this is also airplane friendly, so you can travel with this thing no problem, and a fun little cool feature, it supports charging the Nintendo Switch when in TV mode. But if you want to find out more about the ElecJet PowerPi, you can definitely check out their Amazon store or official website using the link below. All right, so next up, we need to get into some nitty-gritty stuff. The biggest, highest, most valuable marketed feature of this smartphone here, the camera setup. There's a lot going on here, and before you guys rate the comment section, I am and have been on the latest camera software, whatever you want to call it, updates that this phone will have on launch day for everybody else. I've had the update the entire time I've been using the phone. I have the March security patch. Everything that I've been using with this phone over the past 2 weeks is exactly what people are getting on day one. So let's start out with some positives here. I am very happy with the photo quality on this camera. From a general perspective, the cameras are pretty awesome. Like, there's no doubt in my mind. You can check the gallery that I've linked below in the description if you want to see all the photos that I've taken on this smartphone. I'm also a fan of the dynamic range that this camera setup offers, and I'm more specifically speaking from the perspective of the main camera in the middle, that 108 megapixel sensor. I mean, it's pretty cool, and we have a lot of good stuff going here. The night mode on this thing is absolutely phenomenal. Like, I was actually shocked by some of the photos that I took in basically pitch black environments and how they came out on the screen, on the computer, whatever. It was pretty impressive. We do have an ultra wide lens here, which I'm personally a fan of. We have the standard 108 megapixel, I think it's like a 28 millimeter equivalent lens right here. And then we have the periscoping lens that has a 48 megapixel sensor. And I will tell you that the optical zoom on this at 4x, it's pretty awesome to have on a smartphone. Like, I never thought I would use it as much as I did until I had it, obviously, but it can go up to a 10x hybrid optical zoom using that periscoping lens in there and some digital enhancement. Now, before you rail me, obviously software updates can fix a lot of things with a smartphone, and we'll just have to let things play out to see. And I will definitely be sure to do a follow-up video if I get a software update that dramatically enhances the camera experience. With that being said, let's jump into some things that I am not a fan of here. So I will tell you, in just normal picture taking, I probably won't go any further than 20x zoom on this telephoto lens right here on the 48 megapixel sensor, because anything above that, it's arguable whether or not it looks good. And I have pictures listed in the gallery linked below if you want to check those out. But 100x zoom, I don't think anybody should go full on unless you just want a conversation starter or you want a party trick. It just doesn't look good, and I'm gonna say that right now, and I'm sticking by that. I've said that the entire time. 100x zoom does not look good on this. Now, some people want to argue that, oh, well, the 100x zoom, that's not a photography tool. That's not a camera feature. It's more like binoculars, so you can see things far away. Well, then why the hell didn't Samsung make a binoculars app and put that 100x zoom capability in there? No, this is 100% marketed to be a photography tool. Even the damn commercial points it out.
You can now zoom 10 times, or an unbelievable 100 times. Yeah, for real.
I'll tell you what though, you probably need that 100x zoom to view the small print at the bottom of the screen here stating that the images are simulated. On top of all that, it is printed on the back of the damn phone, 100x, right there on the back. It is a thing that Samsung is using to market to sell this phone. It is such an innovation to have that kind of capability in a smartphone. I applaud Samsung so much because that's just bananas, right? Like, to be able even to have, like, how this is set up, the whole phone is full of cool tricks and innovations that I am definitely respectful of. But when it comes down to photo quality, it's just not there. Honestly though, I don't know why some people get so defensive over a phone not performing to its like marketed feature set. Like, Samsung is spending all this money to throw these features into your face, and some of them just aren't that great. Like, Samsung doesn't pay you to attack people. Or do they? For real though, I mean, this is an awesome phone, right? But not everything about it is awesome. No phone is perfect. No smartphone is perfect, and this is a prime example of that. Yes, it's $1,400. Yes, it packs a lot of cool features, but not all of them are awesome, and you don't need to go burn down everybody that disagrees with you on that. You can have your opinion, everybody else can have theirs, and you know what? I got mine, so let's get into it. Now, as far as the sensor here, this is a huge sensor. We have an aperture of f1.8 on the main lens, 108 megapixels, f1.8. Those two numbers are crazy to have in a smartphone, and I am appreciative of that, but I don't think that 108 megapixels is something that you're gonna use very often. First of all, it's not enabled by default, so you have to go in and enable it, and you lose a lot of features using the 108 megapixel option here. One thing that I did notice here is that in Pro mode, you actually can't shoot at 108 megapixels. So yes, the mode for professionals, you can't use a professional resolution within. That just seems silly to me, but whatever. You also cannot zoom using any optics, obviously, because the 108 megapixel sensors on just the standard lens here. You can do a digital zoom while you're using 108 megapixels, but that's kind of pointless. You might as well just digitally zoom into the photo after you've taken it on your phone or on your computer and just export another photo from there. I will say though that using the telephoto lens here and zooming and taking a photo with that, maybe up to like 30 times zoom, looks better than getting that equivalent zoom with the 108 megapixel sensor. So I say at 108 megapixels, you're good for like a lot of squished in details. Like if you want that regular photo, it's full of detail. Like I'm very impressed with the cameras here, but there are definitely limitations. Around the front side, we do have a 40 megapixel selfie camera. And to be honest, that's cool. You know, I'm not one to gripe about the selfie camera. It's kind of a secondary thing. A lot of people do take selfies though, but I think that it's perfectly fine in regards to how everything operates here. But let's talk about video. So the S20 Ultra does pack the capabilities to shoot 8K video at 24 frames per second. And that is a crazy number to think about having in a smartphone. I remember when 4K video recording came out in smartphones, and it wasn't that long ago, essentially. And now that we have 8K here, I'm just a very big fan of the innovation. And I did an 8K video test, so if you want to check that out, the link is down in the description. Now, when in 8K video mode, and other video modes too, I've noticed, not as much as 8K, but we do have a lot of focus hunting happening. The good news is, whether or not you're shooting in 8K or whatever, you can lock down the exposure and the focus, which is definitely helpful. Now, one thing you should think about though is this 8K video is only at 80 megabits per second, which is actually pretty low for that high resolution. That being said, I think that the video that I shot looks amazing, and some of my other friends did it as well, so I'll leave videos linked below for you if you want to check out some full 8K awesomeness from the S20 Ultra. There are some other cool features here that I've mentioned, like the ability to lock apps into the system memory, so I can pin like the camera app or Twitter or something into the system memory, up to 3 apps on this current model, because I have the 12 gigabyte of RAM model versus the 16 gigabyte RAM model where you can lock up to 5 in. Anyway, it's a cool feature to be able to make sure that an app that you want to stay open never closes, and it literally will never close. All right, so overall, I mean, this is a pretty amazing phone. Let's be real here. This packs in everything under the sun. It has everything and more that you could possibly need, but it is $1,400, and is it worth $1,400? It's kind of going to be up to you. I mean, you could easily get the S20 Plus and be just as happy because, you know, it packs a lot of what makes this phone awesome that's available in the other 2 models, but you miss out on 108 megapixels, you miss out on the 100 times zoom, which I don't think that you're ever going to probably use after a couple of weeks here and there. I think that the other 2 offerings that Samsung has are definitely worth looking at, but this is the best that you can get in Android right now. So I don't know, let me know what you think in the comment section below, and if you enjoyed this video, leave it a thumbs up, and also if you're new around here, subscribe to the channel and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can be notified when new videos like this drop in the future. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I really do appreciate it. This is Dom, and I will catch you in the next video.